Well, welcome back, guys. I acquired this Jeep here for basically nothing. It's an 83 CJ7. I don't know much about Jeeps. I'm not really necessarily a Jeep guy. I like anything really, but never messed around with Jeeps. But this one here is pretty rusty. I don't know if in the Jeep world if this is salvageable or not. The frame seems good, but the body's there's no way the body's good. It's already been repaired a few times, but we'll do a little walk around here. The front's not too bad. There's an old school winch here. It doesn't look like that was anything from the factory. I don't know if any, the Jeep doesn't start. All the wiring's hacked up. So I don't know what's good and what's not good, but we'll take a little walk around here. I don't know how to tell how this Jeep was optioned. Yeah, I know there's quite a few different trim levels and whatnot. So the frame, there's some surface rust here and there, but the frame actually looks pretty good. It's kind of everything that's bolted to it. Obviously these are aftermarket rims that were pretty popular in the 80s. I think these are the same ones I have on my Samurai, to be honest with you. But the frame, not too bad. The Jeep doesn't look too bad on the outside. There's definitely some rust here underneath the windshield and whatnot. It seems like this is a pretty common area for rust. The frame back here, once again, isn't like ridiculous. Some spots, some surface spots. The tailgate's actually in pretty good shape. Not too much rust on it. But we'll take a look in the inside here. The glass is still intact on the hard top, but there's some sections where the top's in bad shape, where it's been broken. I don't know if we could fix that or not. That might be a factory wheel. I don't know or not. I know some of them look like that. This side looks straight. I don't think this Jeep's ever been hit. The doors actually aren't too bad either. No obvious rust underneath, so they might be savable. The other side's that way too. It gets ugly when you go inside though. I just recently today took everything out. There was full carpet, which I think probably made things worse because there was some moisture underneath the carpet. But there's already been some patch plates in here at one time, so this thing's rusted pretty bad for quite some time. The Jeep hasn't been on the road for over 10 years, so when I look at all this, even the patches are all done. It doesn't take much to put a screwdriver through any of these spots here. And so many hands have been in the wiring, so that kind of scares me. I kind of want to see where everything goes, why it's dead-ended and just hanging before I even try to start it. I don't need to be messing with electrical fires, so who knows if it's fused or not. And the back is just as bad. There's holes everywhere. So maybe this is savable in the Jeep world, but when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this thing's done. Like, take it off and maybe find a better body to work with. It sounds like some people go with a YJ body because they're galvanized, but I don't know how far I'm going to take it. I mean, at what point do you just consider this a parts vehicle because it's just too far gone, because it's cheaper to just buy one that's more or less complete? I looked for a little bit just to see what they go for. It's hard to say what the conditions are, but it's like 5,000 to 40,000, so it's hard to kind of gauge what you're even getting at those prices and what it will cost to restore it. I could tell you, if you're going to restore something, figure out the cost and then probably double it, and that's probably where you'll be at. But let's open this guy up. Okay, so there might be some modifications done to this. There's the odometer says like 100,000, which I know these motors are pretty solid. I don't know if it's maintained, which is usually the big thing. I don't think this distributor is stock. This looks like a GM distributor. So I don't know if it is or not. Hopefully somebody can mention it, but this carburetor, I don't think is stock either. I don't know if there's a common swap for these engines, but it looks a little fresher than anything else. But you can see here, like, you know, what am I going to do with all this? Like, there's been so many hands in this that you kind of need to go through it all and see what you got. Yeah, I didn't try to turn the motor over or anything. Probably what I'll do before I do anything is pull the spark plugs out, squirt some oil in there. I'll let it sit for a little bit and then turn it over and then see what we have. But you know, it's hard to say what I have, you know, because I got a nice valve cover here, a Clifford valve cover. I think those are the guys that make an EFI kit for these motors too. So, you know, a lot of this is just going to be discovery of you know, what do I have, you know. And I guess, you know, after looking at this thing, I think my plans is just to see what's good and what's not good, you know, fix up the wiring so it's safe to attempt to start the engine. If the engine's good, then move on to the transmission and the axles and transfer case and whatnot. You know, if everything starts looking good, then the only real bad thing is the body, then at that point maybe it is worth separating the body and, you know, putting something else on there, whether it's a YJ or aftermarket body or something. You know, if I were to do anything with this, I would probably make it just a nice runner. I have a Suzuki Samurai that I use for off-roading, so I don't need two rigs that are similar. If I can make this thing, you know, reliable and somewhat safe, then maybe that's the route I go. You know, I don't have any money into this really, so if I have to invest some money into it, you know, I don't think I'll be upside down. But yeah, it would be good to see if there's a way to get a build sheet for this. Looks like there's a tag here. I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything. But maybe, is there like a place where I could just punch the VIN in and it kind of tells you how it was ordered? So any of that information will be helpful. But yeah, it's going to be a project that I'll probably work on some more once the Samurai is done. You know, pretty tied up most of the summer. Starting August, I'll be free to work on the Samurai quite a bit. It's kind of been sidelined for a second as I get some other things done. But I'm really looking forward to get that, you know, back on the trails and whatnot. And really the only thing that's holding it back is me investing time into it. So that's going to start happening soon in August. And hopefully we'll get that set up. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. You know, is it worth saving? Or, you know, what direction I should go in. But even if it turns into a parts rig, I'll still take the time to see what's good and what not. You know, get the engine running, and if it can run. I don't know why it was parked. The gentleman that had it before me unfortunately passed away, and we had no information on it. All right, well, that's it for this thing. If you have any questions, just let me know. All right, thanks.